The Thing That Woke Me Up, Part 1. The first time I saw it, I was 12 years old. At the time, I didn't think anything was wrong. The dreams were strange, sure, but they didn't feel like nightmares. They felt like memories. Every night I would dream about the next day. Not vague pieces, not random images, entire conversations, entire afternoons. I could smell things, feel things, taste things. Then I'd wake up and live them. At first, it felt like a superpower. I knew what joke my dad would tell at breakfast. I knew which teacher would call on me in class. I knew what shirt my best friend would wear. Small things, stupid things, but enough to convince me something wasn't normal. I never told anyone. Who would have believed me? The dreams continued for months. Then one day something changed. I was sitting outside at a picnic table with 3 friends after school. The sun was warm. The air smelled like freshly cut grass. One of my friends was talking about a video game while another argued with him about it. The conversation felt familiar, too familiar. Halfway through, I realized why. I'd already dreamed it, every word, every laugh, every detail. Then a bird landed nearby. A blackbird, nothing unusual. It pecked at the ground for a few seconds before taking flight. For some reason, my eyes followed it. The bird crossed the soccer field, drifted past the goalposts, and headed toward the tree line. That's when I saw it. Standing among the trees was a figure, tall, far taller than any person should have been. It wasn't wearing black, it wasn't standing in shadow, it was black itself. As though someone had cut a human-shaped hole into reality. It had no face, no features, no expression, only 2 hollow eyes somehow darker than the darkness surrounding them, eyes that looked impossibly deep. The moment I saw it, every hair on my body stood up. I pointed toward the woods. I tried to tell my friends. I tried to yell. Nothing came out. No sound, not even a whisper. I tried again, still nothing. My friends kept talking, laughing, arguing, completely unaware that something impossible was standing at the edge of the field. The figure stared directly at me. My stomach dropped. Suddenly I felt exhausted, not tired, drained, like every ounce of strength had been ripped from my body. My arms became heavy, my vision blurred. The world tilted sideways. I slid from the bench and collapsed onto the grass, curled into a ball, terrified. Nobody reacted. Nobody even looked at me. It was as if I didn't exist. I squeezed my eyes shut, then I opened them. I was back at the table. The conversation had restarted, word for word. The same joke, the same argument, the same laughter, the same bird landing nearby. My heart stopped. No. The bird took flight. I followed it. The figure stood among the trees, closer, only slightly, maybe 20 feet closer than before, but definitely closer, watching, waiting. The weakness returned immediately, the fear, the silence, the impossible heaviness. Again I collapsed. Again I shut my eyes. Again I opened them. Back at the table, the conversation repeated. The bird landed. The bird flew. The figure appeared, closer, again. And again, and again, every loop brought it nearer. The woods, the field, the fence, the soccer goal. Each cycle moved it closer to me. Each cycle made me weaker. Each cycle left my friends completely unaware. I don't know how many loops passed. 10, 20, 100, maybe more. Time stopped meaning anything. Eventually the figure stood only a few feet away, towering over me. Its body looked wrong, too thin, too long, like something trying to imitate a human without understanding what humans actually looked like. Slowly, one arm lifted, its hand opened toward me. Not threatening and not aggressive, almost inviting, waiting. Then something slammed into my chest. I woke up screaming. My little brother Caleb stood on my bed laughing. "Wake up." I couldn't breathe. He bounced again like, "You promised we'd play." Morning sunlight streamed through the window. My room spun around me and the dream was over. For a long time I sat there shaking, trying to convince myself it had only been a nightmare. Then I went downstairs. At breakfast, my dad told a joke, the same joke from the dream. Later at school, my friends had the exact conversation I'd heard, word for word. That afternoon, a bird landed near the soccer field. I refused to look at it. That was the first time I truly understood something was wrong. The second time happened 2 years later. The third happened the year after that. The dreams never stopped. They evolved, changed, grew. As I got older, they became longer, more detailed, more convincing. By 16, the dreams sometimes lasted weeks, entire weeks of my life. I'd go to school, hang out with friends, drive around town, talk to family, experience what felt like completely ordinary days, then eventually I'd notice a bird, always a bird, and eventually I'd see the figure, waiting. Every dream followed the same pattern. The moment I noticed it, the loop began. The world repeated itself. The figure moved closer. And eventually, something woke me up. My brother, an alarm, a phone call, a thunderstorm, a barking dog, a door slamming. Something always interrupted the dream before the figure reached me. At first, I thought that was luck. Years later, I realized it wasn't. Something was preventing the dreams from finishing, and I don't think it was me. By 17, I stopped sleeping normally. I set alarms throughout the night. I left lights on. I slept with music playing. Anything to avoid the loops. It didn't matter. The dreams found me anyway. The older I became, the more real they felt. Sometimes I couldn't tell the difference anymore. Sometimes I'd wake up only to discover I was still dreaming, then wake up again and again. Entire months would pass inside dreams. Sometimes I'd wake up convinced years had gone by. The figure was always there, watching, waiting, never rushing, never speaking, just getting closer, a little closer every time, and somehow it always seemed to know the exact moment I noticed it, like it had been waiting for me to look. Then Caleb started appearing in the dreams more often. At first he was just himself, my annoying younger brother, always asking questions, always wanting to hang out, always reminding me of promises I'd forgotten. But eventually he began saying things that felt wrong, things he shouldn't know, things that sounded less like Caleb and more like warnings. One night I dreamed we were sitting in our childhood kitchen, the same kitchen we'd grown up in. Everything felt normal. Mom folding laundry, Dad drinking coffee, Caleb eating cereal. Then Caleb looked at me and quietly said, "Don't follow the bird this time." The room fell silent. My blood turned to ice, because Caleb had never said that before, and because, for the first time in any dream, the figure wasn't outside. It wasn't standing in the woods. It wasn't watching through a window. It was standing in the corner of the kitchen, already inside the house, watching us, watching me, waiting, and somehow smiling.